That's the circle on the t-shirt. That's right. I'm with you again. And we were with you yesterday. And here we are again with you. Key point. So there's been events. So what's happened? So a tweet from CZ, should get it over here. This afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There is a significant crunch. Liquidity crunch to protect users. Now he's white knighting on a problem that he caused. We signed a non-binding letter of intent, intending to fully acquire, not an investment, it becomes ours, to fully acquire FTX.com and help cover the liquidity crunch. We're helpings. We put your house on fire, we put it out for you. Aren't we nice? We will be conducting a full due diligence in the coming days. Due diligence on that thing, that business I seed funded, then let grow a little bit bigger, and then started to become a bit of a problem. And then they started to talk smack about me, and then I properly duffed them up for being little bitches. Deception, regulator pals that were stuffing my business. And now I own it all, and I'm the wolf. I am the big bad wolf. And what do you know? You guys know it because you've been watching the Crypto Sniper. You know the one man who's been talking to you about the least popular call. That was Binance token dominance. The BNB dominance chart we put under you repeatedly many times. Here is just one of many from Legacy. This one was around about 3 weeks ago, highlighting the upside HVF with Binance dominance to go through the 6.12%. That's right, and onwards and upwards and beyond. And yesterday we gave you an FTT divided by BNB chart as well. That one's done okay too. In one day, it has to be said. Hello, there she goes. Bang, that's called a running fuck slap. That's what it's called. Don't you do that shit to me, boy. Don't you do that shit. That's what's happened. Ching Chong Chinaman has given him a beating. He's given him a beating. New York got their ass handed to them there. And the FTT has sold off horribly. And it's run from, don't forget, we called double top-ish key levels over here. Draw with a pen. Over here, you saw it around the key level of 1. And of course, we got a funnel at these levels as well. You got an inverted HVF and you smashed that target. Boom. FTT down. You could have had a delta neutral target. In other words, you don't have to worry about whether crypto is going up or down. You are short one token against another. They could both go down and you could make money. They could both go up and you could make money, and vice versa. You could lose in both instances if you're wrong about relative strength. This was a relative strength trade. You didn't have to have a feel for what the dollar was doing. In fact, it's been weak. It's supporting crypto at the moment. All you needed was to have a feel for which token will dominate the other. By the way, we still have the possibility of that run right the way through 0.029. So that's like 29% of what it was at 0.1. Do you get that? That's a 71% loss on two tokens, BNB versus FTT, a 70% loss in value. And I still suspect that's likely to happen. In the acquisition, who knows if there's even a place for FTT? Could go to 0, could go to anything. I wouldn't want to be a holder. I am. Damn. It's staked 14 days. You can't touch it. That pretty much sucks. And it was quite a bit, not huge, but, you know, to try and get decent trade levels, they coach you into having 1,000. How are you guys doing? We are on. We are live. Post in the chat. Here come some smiley faces. Who's going to acquire CZ now? The World Economic Forum. He will, he's had to comply. He's had to comply quite a lot recently, thanks to the ratting out. When are you starting? We are starting now. Here we are. Don't mess with the triads, says somebody. This was the plan all along, quite possibly. So essentially you have an absolute mondo dominant platform. Actually, it's not really good news for me from a platform using point of view. I certainly hope Binance doesn't inject their chaos and confusion into the FTX platform, which is easier used. But the good news for you is I'm going to say to you, it's extremely unlikely that your deposits come under risk. In short, this is a rescue. This is a rescue. The White Knights have arrived. The White Knights have arrived. They did some beating up and then they are doing some wrapping up. You know, it's kind of like the Geneva Convention. There was an asterisk that once had the guy hammering the guy and then afterwards banding him up. It's a little bit like that. It's kind of like Your central banking cartel. That's right. They set the economy on fire and then they come and save you with printing more money, only they give more of it to their mates. That's kind of how the game goes. That's what's happening here. We're getting a Mondo centralized exchange that is highly regulatory compliant. Yes, I don't know. That doesn't sound that great to me. But the good news is this melodrama might end. This melodrama might end and you can get a wee little rally. I still feel Bitcoin needs to go a tiny bit higher. It had its falling wedge. We gave you a falling wedge yesterday on Bitcoin, didn't we? Rising wedge. Did I just say falling wedge? We gave you a rising wedge warning on Bitcoin and said downsy, downsy, down. And it did indeed do exactly that. Let's have a little look on that front and remind you of this. So there's been a couple of things that have been happening in the last day. Dollar still in that channel, but going to probe for the lower end. That helps crypto. That's a good for crypto. It's a good for a lot of things. What did you get? You got the falling wedge dip, and already now that the heroes are here, the problem is solved. And I do feel it is a bit of a problem solved, in honest truth. You can see it there. There was your rising wedge break and dumpity, 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 dump back to the point of control. Remember that, we gave that to you yesterday. Quite low slung, bounce off that. And now you probably make a ziggity zag, bad old climby, grindy high that will see us go a little bit higher, but not in too dominant way. You see that little release of pressure to the downside? That makes it not such a convincing up move. Lots of up, down, generally going higher, marginally higher, pull back, bad news, back up again. So you grindy. It's not like that. And this is what I suspect is happening. So I do still think Bitcoin will go a bit higher. I think this whole storm in a cup will start to wash away. Everything fine, love and light again for crypto. But don't be fooled. Remember what we said. We're thinking in and around levels in this box range. Be very careful once you start getting into this range. I think that could be a localized high that we will not see. And then the next fall could be ugly. So after you come down and then a bit of more grinding, a little bit more, we could be shorter in the time frame. We don't know. And then we go down. So that was the Bitcoin bit. But the rising wedge has broken to the downside. What was it? It's the drama of FTT. How did FTT look on its own? We showed you FTT against Binance, which has gone very, very well. How did FTT go against a weak dollar? That's FTT USD against Binance. Let's get it on its own. Where we go. You see that Bitcoin, a little bit more up. FTT, grab him. How's it done against the dollar? I don't think it'll be too much nicer, but Binance has been additionally strong. That was your swing trade, guys. That is your swing trade. And actually it's better than being against the dollar because of course Binance is heading up. We'll show you that in a minute. And what we said yesterday to you in a reasonable bit as well. Where's the FTT gone? Gadzooks. I hate searching for these things. I've got such a long list of things to find. Find him. How are you guys doing? What did you think of this event? What do you think it's going to mean to the overall community with this big consolidation? That's what FTT has done. It actually fell at one point right down at its lows to 14.82. For many of you that think Sol won't collapse, yes, you had that probe and it's going to rally back up, but you also have structures very similar to this. And you all think they're flaws. Maybe this event will open up your mind to that flaw failure. Remember, we still said you're going to a $3 when Sol was 34. Let's watch, let's see. We're calling a right shot and we think it's going down to sub 3. They're not going to like me. A lot of billionaires apparently got subsidized Sol. That's why it's always being pushed, even though it keeps falling over. And the ADA guys say, we don't have the hype and the same marketing as this venture cap token, but our token doesn't fall over. It's better designed, it's better everything. Maybe they're right. Solana. We are going to see, I think, Solana turn around and go down. So what else are we going to show you about this? So this event, what do you guys think about this event? Is it good news? For the centralized exchange? Many of you will say, I don't use centralized exchanges. I only use, decentralized exchanges. But a lot of people in the industry do. I use it for trading. To be honest, if you want to trade, I have like the FTX platform. It is clear and it does do what it's supposed to do. What did this do for total? Again, a dip. So you got a bit of a shooting star for a localized high as that news started to come out. Let's just have a look more on this part here. Let's make it switch the lights out on the jaws and focus on the daily. You've got a bit of a shooting star and then you're getting a hammer. So it's going to be very much the same for as in Bitcoin. So total 3 inching its way back up. This is on a soft dollar. This is on a soft dollar. Thursday, we warned you. Thursday, CPI day. Dollar soft now, but coming to a descending grind line inside a possible channel continuation. Will it get bought and pump across again on Thursday? Be careful. Thursday is going to be a key day, CPI day. Not good. Centralization of exchange power is not a good thing, says DJE. At Devault is saying something as well. ADA is not better design. If it was, you'd see billions in stable coins issued on it. Maybe it's not better design. Anthony F says not better design. I have no view. I have no view. I'm just reporting what other people are saying without putting any spin particularly on it. So what has this done for dominance? Not great. And the token you all want to see, even against the dollar, is the Binance token and the Binance Dominance, which we will go to right away. Here she goes. So BUSD, 373. So what did we say to you yesterday? Let's put that back on. That's only Bitcoin only. That's why it's not showing me my jaws. I'm sitting here non-plus. Where's my jaws gone? Too many versions. Here we go. So what did we say yesterday? You could in fact even have an inverted head and shoulders that could see you make 476. 476 a call. This is on a token that we consistently said is going to outperform the others. That didn't always mean it's going to necessarily be going up. Outperform on an overall bearish market. It was going to gain dominance. This was it. And here you have what we consider to be the jaw on that, the left shoulder on there. We've kept Binance a centralized exchange in all our crypto coverage, which hasn't been a huge amount. Rounded, big right shoulder, much more smooth, much more convex, sharp and jagged over there. 476. And yesterday when we came, we said it's a return to the neckline. You could take the trade. And you could have put a stop under there. And I would now say after that news, you could almost certainly have your stop over there. But you're not going to be getting in down here again, I don't think. And actually, I think it ends through there. That is not a bad performance for a particular token that actually, most of the time that we've been covering it was in and around the 260s range. 260 to 476. We don't getting those big X's returns anymore. That's still in and around 75, 70+% in an environment where most of other cryptos have been absolutely killed. And it exceeds Ethereum, which many people want to say is the best. Binance Dominance has shot through our target. This was the key chart that we continue to put in front of you and say, there's a story that'll go with this. Binance Dominance. You'll see how you get the story. Oh dear, guys. HVF method, the news before the news. We can't tell you what the story is. We just tell you where the chart's going. That's it. Did we? First charts I've got over here is in May, my good friends. In May. Here you go. That's a May draw. Open. And it's in our sniper community. You're not there because you're not on themarketsniper.com. By the way, did I make any money on this? First of all, let me absolutely be clear. I've been overtly generally bearish on crypto. And I did consider the possibility that in spite of possibly good news coming for Binance, that we'll see it gain in dominance and an overall market cap size relative to the others. I didn't feel sufficiently bullish with it, and we had a very dominant dollar. So actually, no money made, not claiming it, just been watching it. When people have spoken to me about crypto, it's the main thing. It's the sole bullish thing that I could find almost. And nobody else, and nobody liked it. I said at the time, no one's going to like me for saying this. Because it's not like, hey, isn't it awesome that a centralized exchange is going to do great? There's your HVF draw. What date was it? All our charts are dated. There we go. There you go. Look at it. All of them are dated on the day they're taken, computer time. You see it up there? Fat pen. Social proof. 22:05:07. 7th of May. 7th of May, 22. The time was 11:56 and 8 seconds. Okay, so that's when we first started covering it and taking snapshots that we cared enough to take a picture. And we were highlighting its potential symmetry. We've regularly updated it. Now, I've been away, so I haven't been on this computer. So this is only November, but I was on a laptop in other places, and we've updated. We did a couple of updates there as well. Again, highlighting its progress and saying this guy is dominant. If you have to be in a crypto, this is the one you want to be in. By the way, note also the little squeezy wind up that you got there as well, on top of the big. And 6.12 to run was the target, and it's happened. It just happened now, and it happened on news, and you got to see it. So you see, the news follows the trade. You either are technical and early, and I don't mean technical, those guys with moving averages, crossover systems, and momentum and RSI indicators, and commodity channel indicators, and stochastics, and not those guys. No, HVF method, right here, only place you can get it, only place you'll hear Binance being spoken about before the news, not after. We don't know the full story. We're not clairvoyant. We're just bloody brilliant. We're not clairvoyant. Yep, said with a smile. Yep. It's great when this happens. I love it, even though I made no money. I made no money on it. Made no money. I was in FX. Sorry. Yeah, crypto become boring. It's in a range, waiting for the big sell. Waiting for the big sell. We will be back and in there. And then who knows, your FTX platform might be rebranded. It might turn a little yellow. Anyway, what are the guys saying? There's nothing better than an airport terminal stream. Pattern trading will not take you anywhere, says Guitar Nut. There you go. Here's someone, you've just shown a May chart, you've shown November charts, and you've got the other folder on a drive when you're on a laptop that you've shown the months in between, that you're watching it and saying, Binance is going to be a better hold than any other crypto in the majors. We only cover the majors. It's the other guys that do the small caps that they own and dump on you. Sorry, we don't get involved in skullduggery. We just watch what's happening in the main markets where there's true liquidity, where it's harder for small individuals to manipulate that market. So this guy says, nothing achieved with patterns. Thanks for popping by. Dear me. I don't know why guys like that even come on the stream. You can't achieve anything with patterns. No, you're stupid. It's all a big bluff. Oh dear. So there you go. We've got a centralized platform. There it started moving as it went out of there. That was in September of 2022. So since May, we've been covering it. We also mentioned it on Real Vision. We've mentioned it in the multiple crypto updates. When people said, have you got anything positive to say about anything? We said Binance Exchange. What does that mean? It means you're getting a consolidation, in my opinion. It means you're going to have a dominant player. It's about 10 times bigger by liquidity. So I'm sure all people's withdrawals will be met. Look at that super spike. How do you finish a target? With momentum, you smash a key level of significance, and then you get some progress decay. It all calms down again, and all the fuss about Binance calms down again. But that is true. Beautiful chart. Look at that channel. And you were bumping up against the channel yesterday. I still said, well, you could even, it's done so well. Yesterday, I felt it's done so well. I was saying you could even dip down a little bit first. You may recall. No, the news just escalated. When you're at your second interim over here and you've got the next gap, you cover it with momentum till you run the line. So a little bit of run over and now progress decay. Don't make the trade now, guys. You missed it. You missed it the first time we mentioned it, and even yesterday, you've missed the final stages of it. That doesn't mean FTT's got a great future, in my opinion, but it does. I think some of the hype will wear down, but Binance is in a strong place, and they've got $476 to run potentially on a target, and that doesn't mean they stop exactly on that number. So the market cap, the coin market cap, how's she looking? Way, there she goes, 3.42% up. It's, it's decent. But poor old FTT, not as good. Matic, look at that. Watch out for that fella. He's a grower. So what else do you want to ask me? You are a screwed bear. There is no 8K or 3K. I don't know. I don't know whether I said 3K and I said possible 8K. We will see what we have targets for. CZ bought FTX but not Almeida. If Almeida is your counterparty on anything at this point, I'd be extremely worried. That's an interesting point. So let's just talk about the fundamentals. Leave the technicals for a second there. That hedge fund is in trouble. I don't see why BNB, they can take the clients and the database and they can capture that and they can have a better platform than their own, in fairness. I do prefer FTX platform. I can't use Binance. But they don't have to honor that token. They can let that token die. Those guys are sitting with collateral. But at least it's just a hedge fund that blows up and it doesn't blow back on retail if it is to happen. So yeah, that was quite an interesting point. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you would have Alameda research counterparty risk. Maybe you invested money with him. I don't know. But I think much less people will be exposed than you would be exposed in terms of this as an exchange. End of the 4-year cycle happening in the next 4 months, says Devin Rose. Crypto usually bottoms between November and January. Looks like history may be repeating. Well, we will see about that. I think the dollar will dictate a lot on that. I don't see Hex going back to 20 cents anytime soon. I think it goes lower first. I think it could even go lower than the 1 cent as we predicted, and it could run into other troubles. Not because anybody bad, just because the whole crypto scene, I think, is going to take a dump. Watch the BTC spaghetti code die. Alameda will be dumping very soon by force. Thoughts on Sol? We've already shared. For now, the Sol, we're very bearish Sol. And you should bear that in mind. We're very bearish, but it has survived for now. This is the Sol DOM, by the way, which is different to the USD. Again, it's not pretty chart. It looks very much like a descending triangle. So let's do that. That was its bull days, and we were involved in the longs on there. This is not pretty. Very descending triangle. It's not a great chart. You're leaning on a floor. You're leaning on a floor. Shooting star last time you were there. It's not a very great chart. We can do it against dollar. So this is Sol's losing even against other tokens that are losing. Yeah. It's definitely losing against Binance. You know that. That wouldn't have been very nice charts. Sol versus Binance. It's a spiller. It's a thriller. It's all the way from Manila. There you go. There you go. You can see him there. That is absolutely nasty. And by the way, again on that, let me just take some of that extra fluff off. This little upside structure that it had at one point against Binance, it's now run that funnel. It's a major negating event. This is very bearish, and it's trading down. It just had a wick and now it's pushed to a new low. Sol down, down, down. It's not a good place to be. Sol's not a good place to be, in my opinion. Sol is not a good place to be. A lot of key levels falling. A lot of key. FTT and Sol. FTT is the weakest, most exposed, but Sol, I don't think, of the majors, you know, of major tokens with real market caps. That is an ugly chart. That is an absolute spill. I mean, it literally would have to start reversing very soon and snap back really hard to kind of make it look like a final capitulation low. The only way that recovers in technical is a really harsh bounce and then, you know, some sort of winding up, and that needs to start right now and breaking out. Then it could, if it broke above this level line again, you'd have to reframe. And you could even start reframing if you got that momentum and took out that localized high. That's what it's going to need to do. It doesn't smell that way. It's very much in the, since breaking into the lower half of the splitter of this wedge, it's not gone the other side. So it's got to start by getting over the other side. So Sol, that's Sol, we're on Sol BNB there, which is admittedly a difficult benchmark for it right now with the Binance strength, but not good. So Sol USDT with a weak dollar. So this is probing and teasing the neckline of our $3 call. $3. Called at 34. Now trading 27. It's fine. It's all progress. I think there'll be a bit of a rally on the USD weakness and a little bit of Bitcoin. I think it continues to underperform, and I suggest to you all that you have that. Oh dear, oh dear. VC token. VC token. Doesn't seem to work that well. What else are you? Monero Maximalist. Are you one of those expects 8K, 3K? I expect whatever we get targets for on Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that's a Bitcoin question. And we are awaiting. And if this breakdown occurs, the guess is you're going to get something around 13 on target, and you also have an outstanding bear flag downside at 12. That doesn't mean the bear flag is super powerful, but it's a pretty decent target. And yeah, that wouldn't be nice. So there's a shout for 13 and 12K at the moment for downside on a guess, but we're still waiting for the pattern to form. So we only get full structure and details once it's done. So let it go up one more time, let it come down nice and hard, let it go a final time and down. We wait for our third, and I think you have less time than you've already spent in the pattern. So I would say that's 60%, and you're going to be, the 40% is going to be less. So we're more than halfway through this. We're at the 60% mark, maybe even the 75. So that can come quite quick at you, the last bits. So that remains bearish. XRP we did yesterday. This is just mainly to shout out about the Binance. We did XRP yesterday. There's no great changes, I don't believe, in that particular token. I don't think there's been a massive change in ETH. ETH DOM has been stable. It's not going down too hard. It looks like it's going to refloat up. So ETH is going to be biased to the more strong side generally. But it's not a specific rush in necessarily this second. And XRP DOM is still easing back down. No major changes today for those. So yeah, so Sol is hurt by this FTX events. And FTT, man, FTT, that is a very ugly. It's progressed even further. It's 0.043, guys. You actually could have got this in the 90s when we streamed yesterday, and the 87s level, and now you've just had an absolute wash. That's an absolute spill on a cross FTT BNB call. FTT in the dollar terms, what's it now on dollar? Let's get it one more time and we'll finish on that. Any final questions? FTT dollar, FTT dollar. Yeah, 16, and it traded as high as 26 in the recent, and again, another example of these structures that you saw on Sol. Let's just take the eye off there. That is a triggering event for a head and shoulders. I call this probably a zero, guys. FTT could be a very good short. You might get a bit of talking and a bit of negotiation, might rally, you might get a flag, it might be worth taking because this could go down. You're in and around the 80s up top there. This is around the 24s. 24s, 25s, I would say. So even if you take 80 to 25, you're looking at around $55 down from that. Well, it's not going to be, we're not going to do a geometric target on this. It's actually a very big time frame. We'll do a log scale one. We'll do a target for that for our community for shorting the FTT. But I think first it gets a little bit of a rally, but I think it goes a lot lower. A lot lower. Could make for a great short. Could make for a great short indeed. So FTT remains a short. FTT Binance token remains a great short, all the way down to 0.029 and possibly with some overperformance. That's your summary. The news was the acquisition that's probably likely now to occur And, you know, he threw his weight around, he pissed him off, and now he gets to give up his business. It seems a very immature thing that he's done, devious, pushing the regs, but maybe they want to position our main man CZ as the primary centralized exchange of everything. It's going to be too big, it's going to be too dominant. It's another Google, it's another YouTube, dare I say, another Android company that just is too vast and may eventually become too big to fail, regardless what it does. And we'll probably have a transgender woke token CFO, CEO at some point, as they like to do. But that is all just gossip and chit-chattery. You know what's going down now. FTT, well, you knew that from yesterday. You knew you could trade it against BNB. You know that Binance token is going to be relatively strong during this period. And actually, the dollar's a bit crap. And until Thursday, and maybe just the lead up just before Thursday, so maybe Wednesday afternoon, a little bit of rumblings, careful. Could be very volatile out there. CPI number for America coming out. This is post midterms, so this will be after your election, everyone has voted. It could be super ugly. It could pump the dollar. Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to that point later. Thanks for joining us for the quick live stream. Just to say, yep. A little bit of I told you so. Sorry about that. We don't want to be too braggy. But yeah, Binance was definitely interesting. The dominance chart, HVF method gives it to you. You could have been watching it for all this time. And you could have been trading it. Not been overactive in the trading space. We're waiting for the big sell-off. I don't like to go long when I feel bearish and the macro is bear. So it was a bit of a conflict. You could have done token for token. FTT would have been your boy. That would have been the token. Just wasn't hunting a trade that badly as we were in other markets. But you could, and you could have been in our community. There's the sniper, BNB, Dominance. You could have been chatting inside here. You could have been doing all this and more with others and making maybe some money on the long side of Binance while shorting FTT without even knowing why until later. It's great when the news catches up and you're ahead of the news. News before the news requires technical analysis on a probability-based basis with real method. And that's what we're all about. You go to themarketsniper.com if you want to book a call so that you can be scratching around at the scene of the crime every time. Scratching around at the scene of the crime every time. That's what you can do. We don't get the story, we're not clairvoyant, but we get some of the detail. And you still always get the trade. With the chart, you get the trade. With a stop, with a target, with the ability to do real money management, providing you take the time to check it each time. Until next time, thank you for coming in. We'll catch you again. Glad to be back on the crypto channel. Don't forget, themarketsniper.com to book a call and our event 11/11/22. 11/11/22. There you go. Lots of bunny ears there. Book and go and say, remind me. You've probably been unsub. Till next time we speak again. Bye-bye.